this podcast push. I feel like everybody should start their own podcast. That's what I feel. Like, like podcasting is like really underrated right now. And all I'm saying is, because I understand. Trust me, I understand. I thought the same thing too before I got my podcast started. Shout out to the Billionaire Experience. But here we are. You're probably listening to this on my podcast right now. How amazing is that? But I'm saying you can and you should have one too. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So, like I was saying before, I was recording this. I never recorded in the shower before. However, I just wanted to create this one just to let you know that if you don't have time to create a podcast, you can steal time to create a podcast. Especially if you own a business. Especially if you own a business, you have to have a podcast. If you're a leader of any, I'm talking about a leader in the doctor industry, dentist, you should have if you have a team, even if you're a basketball coach of an elementary school, it would help to have a podcast, and kids would love to go listen to the podcast of the coach. Imagine you the violin coach, the music coach, the music teacher, and you have a freaking podcast. Make that shit mandatory that they can listen to over the weekend. Little 30-minute, talk or rant, depending on what you're pushing out. But everybody needs a podcast. Spiritual leaders gotta have a podcast. Gotta have a podcast. Start a podcast. I'm telling you, podcasting is like, podcasting brings clarity, right? But I do want to also say this. When it comes to, everybody needs to set up a podcast, right? And for that, you can go to Spreaker.com, or you could just click the link. I'll probably put the link down there for you. But along with, creating this podcast, it's also important that this is going to wipe out a lot of you. So I'm giving you the truth. And again, here I am in the shower, making it very accessible to create the podcast. So the question is no longer, can I create a podcast, right? It's no longer, can I create a podcast? You take showers every day, don't you? But I will tell you the uploading process, you'll be amazed. It takes seconds. It literally takes seconds. So, you create this podcast. This is the thing, though. You want to be consistent. Once you create a podcast, I don't care who you are, you're going to have some type of consistency. There goes the C word. Can you believe it? They say they hate his language. Billionaire Brown, why you gotta cuss so much? I'm saying the C word. You gotta be consistent. That just cut through a few of y'all sheets right there. You hear what I'm saying? But consistency. You create the podcast, and now you set up a sense of consistency. Like, are you going to put these out like once a quarter, once a month, right? Not once a year. Once a year, I mean, hey, whatever it is that you want to do, but develop and set up some type of consistency. The next thing you want to do is you want to start asking yourself questions like, what's next? right? Because what did you do? You set up your podcast. You set up a way that you can be consistent pushing out content on your podcast, right? So now what you want to do is you want to organize, right? Some people call it, getting down to your niche, right? What is your niche market? What demographic are you going after, right? What's your audience, right? But I'm gonna call that organized, right? Because the next thing, it has to be, you have to start organizing. Like, what are the things you're going to talk about on your podcast, and what are the things you're not going to talk about on your podcast? What are some things that you're going to, you see? So that's how it goes. You set up the podcast. You say, you make that commitment. I'm going to be consistent with this thing, and then the next thing you do is you organize. And the thing I'll do after I organize, got all that squared away, next thing I'll do is I'll make it my business to have fun with what I'm doing. Like, how am I going to now that everything is organized, how am I going to have fun bringing this new baby into my life? How am I going to have fun? Because many can set it up, many can be consistent, many can be organized, right? They've organized exactly what they're going to do. But you know what? We've all seen it. We've all seen how that story ends, haven't we? They're not having fun. And this is not one of those things where we're doing things, but we ain't having fun when we're doing it. That's all I'm saying. So, write a review. Let me know if you like this comment. I'm going to go ahead and turn the record off because your boy is taking, this is a real shower. I'm not just running water. I'm literally taking a shower right now, recording this podcast. Maybe we'll call it the podcast that I made in the shower. That's funny, but set up your podcast, guys. If you either aspire to be a leader or you are a leader right now, it won't hurt you to set up a podcast, set up a way you can be consistent with it, organize what's going to be on there. And, like I said, just figure out a way you can have fun. That's what, 60 minutes out of your entire week? 60 minutes? For some of you, it may be 120 minutes. Some of you may be 360 minutes. Who knows? But we're talking about out of a week. All right, go ahead and do that. All right, peace. Don't forget to write me a review, y'all.